Welcome to IAS Net Study, and this is the fourth video in the series of ethics. In the first video, we had a discussion of basic concepts, and then we had a discussion of essence, consequences, and then in the third video, we talked about dimensions of ethics. And here in the fourth video, we are going to talk about ethics in public relation as well as a private relation, and finally, we are going to find the relationship between professional values and the personal values. So this is what we are going to do in this particular video. So let's start with the discussion. The first, ethics in private relation. See what exactly the private relation ethics, you know that it is going to tell you what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. This is what ethics deals with. It talks about good, it talks about bad. Now this is you have to connect it from two perspectives. One is private relation, another one is professional relation, public relation. In private relation, what exactly is the private relation is that my private relations are my personal relations, are my relationship with my family members, or my relationship with my friends. So family and friends belong to my private relationship, my personal relationship. Now how exactly this private relationship it is different from public relationship? See, my public relationship is with my political representatives. If I am a public servant, if I am a civil servant, then my connection is with the public, with the people. At the same time, my connection is with the political representative. So I am in between. So here private relationship, it is more of my personal relationship with my family, with my friends. This personal relationship, it and personal relationship or a private relationship, this is informal in nature. There are no legal obligations, there are no procedures, there are no norms, nothing like that. These are informal in nature, and there are no formal procedures in handling these relationship. I don't have to listen to all these legal obligations in my private relationship. So these are informal in nature and there are no formal procedures. And majorly my private relationships, my private relations are based on emotional bond, emotional connection. How I connect with other person, other individual, how I connect with my family members, how I connect with my friends. There is an emotional attachment, there is an emotional bond between these two entities here. So this is what private relation talks about. Now ethics in private relationship, so what are the values that are required in private relationship that we are going to talk about? And another aspect about private relationship is that I am accountable to myself, I am answerable to my consciousness. Here there is an internal accountability. Whereas if you think of public relationship, I am accountable to the people, I am accountable to the political executive, there is an external accountability. I am answerable to the constitution, I am answerable to the legal framework. But here it is an internal control. So I am answerable, my accountability is to my consciousness. So my consciousness is going to question my ethical behavior in my personal relationship, in my private relationship. So here in public relationship, there is an external control in the form of law, codification, code of conduct, ethical framework, sorry, constitutional framework, rules, regulation, all these comes. But here in my private relationship, it is internal accountability, it is an internal control, and I am responsible to my consciousness. So this is private relationship. Now let's see the ethical principles in private relationship. What are the ethical principles I need in my personal life? First and foremost, I told you that private relationship is about emotional bond, is about informal connection. Here with my family members, with my friends, what are the principles I require in order to have a good connection or good relationship? The first and foremost is that care. I have to care for them, I have to care for my family members, I have to care for my friends. So care, love and affection, these are the basic core principles that are required in my private relationship. And fidelity to my life partner, or confidentiality. If a friend of mine is sharing something with me, then I have to maintain that confidentiality, and I have to maintain that trust. He has shared something because there is a trust factor in me, so I have to maintain this confidentiality. I have to be truthful, I have to be trustworthy, and responsibility and accountability in my conduct with my family, with my friends. And tolerance and acceptance regarding minor imperfections. See, nobody is perfect, especially when it comes to the personal relationship. There are some here and there misconceptions, imperfections will be there, and I should be in a position to accept these imperfections, accept these minor mistakes. Then only my personal life, my private relationship can be handled in a efficient way. So these are values that are needed in my private relation. These are values that are needed in my personal life. Right. Now let us see the ethics that are required in public relationship. Public relationship, it means that if I am a public servant, if I am a civil servant, then I have certain responsibilities, I have certain accountability, and I am responsible here to citizens. I am responsible to MLA or MPs, the political executives. I am responsible to uphold constitution. I am responsible, I have accountability towards law enforcement agencies. See, these are external accountability factors are there, and I have to satisfy all of them. It is not that I'm satisfying constitutional framework but I'm not satisfying my accountability to people. It is not going to happen. I have to have satisfy, I have to make sure I fulfill my obligation, my legal, social, ethical obligation to all of them. So this is what public relation matters a lot here. My professional relations are predictable and formal, because if I am a civil servant, I have to follow the legal procedures. As a civil servant, it is that everything should, I should document everything. Everything should be decision should be based on rationality. Every decision should be based on objectivity. There is no role of subjectivity. These are some of the procedures, some of the standard ethical standard, legal standards, social obligations are there, and I have to uphold this. So relationships are formal, relationships are predictable in nature. So here I am a part of something bigger picture. Here I am a part of administration. I am a civil servant, I am a public servant, but I am a part of public administration. So I have to see it from a context, not from an individual. In my personal relationship, I am an individual, I have my own stance, I can stick onto my value system. But here in public relation, in a professional perspective, I am just a part of a context. I cannot be seen as a separate entity. Of course, I am an individual being. I have name, I have certain values. That is in my personal capacity. But in my professional capacity, I am not a separate entity. I am just a part of context. I am just a part of larger or bigger public administration. Right. This is ethics in public relation. This is mainly public relationship. Now let's see what are the ethics we need in public relationship. And another thing, in a public relationship, there are legal and social obligations are there. I have to fulfill it. I just talked about it. And often nature of duty in a public relationship is obligatory. There are obligations. I have to fulfill the constitutional mandate. I have to fulfill the legal methodologies. Everything I have to fulfill it. And everything is externally imposed. In private relationship, it is internal. I am answerable to my consciousness. Here it is externally imposed, and everything is formal and everything is sanctioned. So this is public relationship. And what are the values I need, we usually see in public relationship? The values like honesty, integrity, openness, transparency, being fair, empathy, compassion. These are some of the values. Objectivity and dedication, spirit of service. These are some of the values, these are some of the morals we need in public relationship. These are called professional values. So ethics in professional values, I mean morals in professional conduct. These are some of the morals. And see, in public, in a private relationship, in my personal life, my reach is very much restricted. I am answerable, or my access is towards my family and friends. But when I am me being a public servant, me being a civil servant, my reach become wider here. Now whatever decision I take, if I don't have this value, then the implications are much wider and it is going to reach a wider audience here. So I have to have these kind of strong ethical and moral values as a core values in my conduct, so that my impact will be something positive. See, it is going to impact a society at large. But if you have these values, make sure that values will make sure that your impact is positive. If you don't have these ethics in uh, public relationship, then your values and your impact, both these values and impacts, are going to be negative from a public perspective, from a larger society perspective. Right. So we talked about ethics in private relationship, we talked about ethics in public relation. Now let's extend this concept of ethics in public relationship. See, in private relationship, it is only family and friends. My exposure is limited. But when we think of ethics in public relationship, morals in public relationship, the values in public relationship, we have to see it from a different perspective. Let's see those different perspective. First, let's see from an international perspective. At international perspective, what are the values, what are the morals we need, especially under public relationship? See, at international level, one country should respect the sovereignty, should respect uh, the autonomy, decision making authority, all these things. I should not interfere, one country should not interfere. If me being a prime minister of this country, I should not interfere in the internal affairs of another country. I should not disturb this. So here, another country's sovereignty I have to respect. Here I am a public servant, here I am a prime minister here now, or a minister. Now I should not interfere in the sovereignty of other country. Even though I have that power, I have that money power, I have that geopolitical power, but still I should not do that, because I have moral in my conduct, I have ethical values in my conduct. So respecting other nations sovereignty, and whether it is a diplomacy, whether it is we are signing an international treaty or a trade agreement or some kind of extradition treaties, or we are signing the United Nations some documentation, make sure that we are inculcating ethics in all these things, we are inculcating moral values in all these things. So ethics in international relationship includes all these things. So me being a public servant, and if I am working for a particular country and I have to maintain, or these are the mandatory aspect I should take care of when I'm dealing with international aspects. Now let's see from a second perspective, social perspective, socio-cultural perspective. At the socio-cultural perspective, at the social level, what are the values we need? Me being a civil servant, me being a public servant, what are the values I have to show in my public relationship? One thing is altruism. There should be a genuine intention to help other people, there should be a genuine intention to for the betterment of the people. Tolerant towards other section, sacrifice or selflessness, following social norm. This is the most important aspects. Even though I am a public servant, but I have to make sure that certain social norms I have to respect it, I have to follow it. And simple living, healthy competition, peace and harmony, integration, ecological harmony, economical development, all these are some cultural aspects, some social aspects. I have to make sure that I emphasize, I showcase these values, these ethics in my public relationship. These are from socio-cultural perspective. And then we have a political perspective. From political perspective, the two aspects, important aspect is trust and commitment. These two are important value system of politics. See, in order to enhance this, we have to uphold the constitutional ethics and the aspects of loyalty, aspects of commitment, aspects of selfless services. And also, by emphasizing all these values, we can eliminate criminalization of politics, we can eliminate nepotism, we can enhance the inter-party democracy and illegal funding, we can eliminate unfair practices. All these things can be eliminated, and strong ethical leadership can be culminated if there are ethics in a political perspective. Political ethics are there in public relationship. Right, and the next perspective is organizational ethics. At organization level, efficiency, competence, honesty, impartiality, non-discriminatory, being disciplined, integrity, all are some of the morals, values we need at the organization level. So even ethics in public relationship, from organizational perspective, these are some of the morals, these are some of the values we need it. Right. So these are ethics in public relationship from a different perspective. We talked about international level, we talked about social cultural norms, we talked about political perspective and organizational perspective. Now let's move ahead. See, we talked about private relationship, we talked about public relationship. Right, now we are going to see the relationship between these two, the personal values, professional values. You can, in a simplified manner, personal values I can say, private relationship, professional uh, public relationship, I can say professional values. Now ethics in public relationship, ethics in private relationship. Now let us see the relationship of ethics in private and public relationship. I have certain values in my public life, I have certain values in my private life, but there is no watertight compartment. There is no watertight compartment at all. Your personal values are going to influence your private values, sorry, your professional values also. So there is no watertight compartment. Let me tell you something that, see, by the age of 24 you cleared the civil service examination. Till 24 you are an you're not a civil servant, you're not a public servant, you're an ordinary human being, citizen of a country. You have certain value system at your personal capacity. And do you think that right immediately after clearing this exam you're going to, is it possible to develop all new value system altogether, all new professional values altogether? It is impossible actually. Whatever the value system you have at the personal life, that is going to be replicated at the professional life also. See, if you have a value of honesty, if you have a value of integrity in my personal life, this is going to replicate it in your professional life also. See, if I am not truthful in my personal life, don't expect that I will be truthful in my professional life also, because there will be a replication factor, there will be a replication effect here also. I am the same person. Just because I got some training for 6 7 months, it is not going to change my character altogether. So there will be replication, there will be shadow effect will be there in my professional scenario also. So if I am not honest in my personal capacity, I will not be honest in my professional capacity also. So there is no watertight compartment. So the relationship, it is quite evident, it is quite natural, and you can easily see it. At the same time, at your professional capacity, you are corrupt, you are taking a lot of money. Don't think that this is not going to impact your personal life. If you are corrupt at professional life, if you are taking money, if you are corrupt, and this is going to impact your personal life also. The thing is, the same, the compromise of value, it is going to see in personal life also. Maybe that compromise is with your life partner, if that compromise is with the upbringing of the children, something it will manifest in a some or other way. So there is no watertight compartment. Your professional values are going to impact your personal values, your personal values are going to impact your professional values. Be open to it. So in order to have a smooth sailing, you need to have a balance, you need to build that synergy between private and public relationship, the values of public relationship and the values of private relationship. There should be a synergy, there should be a synchronization between it. Then only it is going to make sure that your life is sailing smoothly, both the professional front as well as the personal front. Here, see, both these values, they consistently they interact and they affect each other. Personal values interact your professional values, professional values impact your personal values. Here, see, ethics in your private relationship, in my personal capacity I have certain values and ethics. These are going to, if I inculcate these values, if I have compassion in my personal life, if I implement same compassion in my professional tendency, professional capacity, then I am going to humanize the public relationship. Even though these are two separate entities, but the value is same thing. The human values, compassion, empathy, the same thing. If I implement here in my public relationship, I can humanize my public relationship. So this is what it is talking about. Ultimately, the moral system of a person, it can be seen from a whole perspective, both the personal level as well as the professional level. So as I said you, there is an impact. Professional value is going to impact personal, personal value is going to impact the profession. Now let's see this relationship in a broader perspective, how exactly the relationship, personal values and professional values are going to be handled or going to be manifested. Let's look at this diagram. One side we have a ethics in private relationship, personal values. Another side, ethics in public relationship, it is professional values. The two values, uh, personal, and this is professional values, right? See, if I have a harmony between my personal values and professional values, it means that in my personal value also I have integrity, honesty, and even in my professional values also I have integrity and honesty. There is a balance, there is a synchronization. So now if that is the situation, there will be harmony. And that you have to see it from a two perspective. If there is a harmony, if the harmony is there, then I am at peace, I have the mental satisfaction. When I am having mental satisfaction, eventually this is going to replicate it in my physical well-being also. There will be mental well-being, there will be physical well-being, there will be emotional well-being. I am at peace, I am at harmony, right? When there is a balance, when there is a synergy or synchronization between personal values and professional values. Now when there is too much harmony, what happens? I'm extremely happy with this value system. Everything is in balance. Now, how is it going to impact me, what are the consequences. Consequences is that I am extremely happy, I'm fine with the value system of my personal life and the professional life. Now what happens, I don't want to change anything in my life, so everything becomes stagnant. I am not open for any change. Already I'm happy with everything, I don't want to change, I resist change. There is no critical thinking. And if even somebody in my office comes up with a new idea, I am not ready to accept it, because it is going to disturb my homeostasis, it is going to disturb my equilibrium. So that is the reason, new ideas, innovation, I am not going to support it. And whatever the decision making, I make sure that everything is in harmony, I'm not going to take any reformation. So this is what happens. If there is low harmony, then outcome is positive. If the too much harmony means outcome is negative, right? At the same way, this is for harmony. At the same way, if there is a conflict between my personal values and professional values, if there is low conflict, and let's say if there is too much conflict, if there is a low conflict, what happens, it means that my personal values and the professional values, something is not matching. Now what do, I want to create a balance. In order to create that balance, I'm open for the changes. So I make social changes, I make cultural changes, I make organizational changes. So I'm open for the changes, and I would say okay to reforms also, I'm fine, because I need that balance. For that balance, some changes are required. So there will be reformation, there will be innovation, there will be development. This is the scope of low conflict, right? It means that there will be positive development. If there is too much conflict, then what happens, the outcome will be negative. If there is too much conflict, one side my personal values are not going well with my professional values, I am not at all happy there. Now what happens, there is a breakdown. There is a one thing I am going to break down, another thing, my administration is going to break down. It means that I it is going to create a lot of confusion, it is going to create unrest at individual level, at psychological level, this is going to create a lot of trouble. When that happens, either I work too hard to balance it, or there will be a breakdown of administration. This is what happened. There will be a since I am a civil servant, I am a district administrator, entire district is my hand, but I am not able to handle this value system, then disintegration of society can be expected. If a civil servant is faced with this kind of situation, and there will be breach of rules, I cannot handle it. Now what happens, I am fine with compromising legal aspect, I'm fine with compromising legal obligation. So there will be breach of rules and regulations, and the legitimacy of the administration is going to come down. So this is what happen if there is too much conflict. So harmony, it is good, conflict also good when it is at the certain level. If the harmony is also more, if the conflict is also more, then this is going to create some kind of negative effect, some kind of detrimental effect to the administration, both at administration as well as the personal level. So this is what the relationship between ethics in private and public relationship, sorry, ethics in public and private relationship. I think this is it. So thank you for listening, and in the next video we are going to take up the values. We already had a discussion in the first basic concepts, but now the extended version, extended understanding of values, even it has been mentioned in the syllabus. And also questions, very frequently questions also have been asked on this particular topic of values. The various aspects of values we are going to take up in the next video. And thank you for listening. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good time and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.